Hi, I'm Jordan. I'll be giving you this tutorial on paths, which is really fun to work with, so I'm just going to show you a few things. First of all, I'm obviously going to need an image, so I've got a picture here of Mark Bolger, St. Louis Rams quarterback, or in layman's terms, an American football player. So I'm going to copy image that, go File New, again, the dimension's straight there, so no fiddling around. OK, and paste. Control V. Now I've got my image to work with, I can select the pen tool. Basically what I'm going to try and get out of this is I'm going to create a path around the image. With that path I'm going to fill it black and make a silhouette out of it, a lot like what you see in the iPod adverts. Then I can muck around with that, show you a couple of funny things. So here goes nothing. I'm going to start going around it now.
Are you ready, kids?
Okay, now what you're going to be seeing me doing here is I'm working outside the work area to complete the foot, because it's cut off by the workspace. Obviously it wasn't in the wallpaper, so what I'm doing is just basically making a fake leg in a sense. It will look better in silhouette because nobody likes cutouts.
What's your dad like? I want to meet that dad. Now smile at the moon. Love that moon. Have a glass of wine. It's okay, kids. I won't tell.
Okay, now that the main path's done, I'm going to neaten it up with the direct selection tool that we looked at in tutorial 1. This basically means I can just click on the anchor points and drag them into place. This neatens the whole thing up. Lovely.
Make a doo-doo. Do-do-do-do. Slap your face. Slap your friend. Get sexy, kids.
This actual point I have here I don't actually want, so I'm going to click on the pen tool and you see this menu comes up. I'm going to select the delete anchor point tool here, and literally you just click on the anchor point and it goes, leaving me this really smooth line to work with, and I can carry on with the direct selection tool. Okay, that seems about done. I'm just going to add some more guides in the face mask. It'll make sense when it's a silhouette, it will cut out, but they don't conflict with the path that I've made, so it all turns out good. You'll see in a moment. Okay, now that's done, I can go on a path and start mucking around with it. But over here, in the first tutorial I realised you couldn't see the tabs, but what it says is layers up here, channels, and then paths. I'm going to click on that, and you can see there's a silhouette of the image I've been working on, and that shows its path. I'm going to go down here and click on this selection button, which makes it look like a section that a lasso or a marquee would do, and I'm going to go back on layers. I'm going to inverse the selection by doing Control Shift I. Now you can see like the selection is going to be selecting everything but the image. Hit backspace and it's been left with the image. So that's one good thing about paths, but obviously it would help if it didn't have a banner running across his legs. Again, a bad example photo, but it's what I could come up with. I'm just going to undo back to a path, go on paths again, make it selection, layers. Now I'm going to try and make it into a silhouette. Here's a new layer. I'm going to select the paint bucket tool and click. And there we go. I'm just going to hide the image I was working off of, and there we go. There's a silhouette. Now obviously the feet are cut off because they were outside the working space, but there's an easy way to get around this. Let me undo. Back to a path. There we go. Put the image back on just for good measure. I go to the path selection tool. Now this will select the whole path that I've worked on. But obviously not the other paths I was working on, not in the face mask, because they're separate paths, so I'm going to have to select those, holding shift here to click and select them. Now I've got every path selected, I can go over to the marquee tool. I'm going to hide the image, go to the marquee tool, right click and go to free transform path. Now I can like change the size. I'm doing it in scale here, holding shift. Move into center just to show you guys. Apply it. Go to work path, make it selection again. Now I can paint bucket, and there's our image again in all its glory. Now I'm going to just move this up to the top to show you my second part of this tutorial, which is actually reflecting it. Again, this is something done in a lot of Apple and iPod adverts. Just apply that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this image. So I've just right clicked on the layer, duplicate, OK it, and go to edit, transform and flip vertical, which will obviously flip it vertically. Just going to drag it down so the feet touch, because that will kind of resemble floor. Now it's obviously still a bit off, so I've just selected both of them. What I did is I clicked on the top layer, held shift and clicked on the second one, so that selected both of them. Marquee tool, right click it, retransform, and you'll notice that it transforms both of them, which is really good because they're both selected. Get them so they fit. That should do it. Apply it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the reflection, so I'm going to make a new layer. This is one of two ways I do it. I'm just going to select the bottom layer on the new layer. Going to go to white on my colours, go to the gradient tool, and on here you can see that there's loads of different ones, but I want this one, the one that goes into the transparency. Grey and white represents transparency in Photoshop. So using the gradient tool, click and hold. I'm holding shift to make it straighter. Let go, and there we go. We've got our gradient. Now I'm going to work on top of that because it's not very good. There you go, kind of working it to make it look a bit more like a reflection. But that's one or two ways. Let me show you the other way, which I think is better. I'm going to go to the eraser tool and make it about the same size as the image that I'm trying to fade. So I've got 432 here. Yeah, that seems about right. See how it's about the same size. Now I can go on to the actual layer of the image and give it a stroke. And you see how it's done basically what the gradient did, but a lot better, I'd say. This is my personal preference. Now you can merge those two layers by doing Control and E, which means I can move both of them freely. There we go. I'm just going to get 2 eyedrops from the original wallpaper, just to make this into a wallpaper, just for good measure, you know. Just switch them around so I can choose a different colour, a bit lighter. I'm going to hide it. And the layer that I originally was putting the gradients on, I'm just going to drag it down and make it the background layer. So put it behind the image. Like so. There it is. Now I can drag the gradient. Hold on, let me set it to the original gradient. The 2 colour gradient. It was set to the 1 to transparency. So foreground to background gradient. And it will select both of them. Okay. Undo the original one. And there we go. You can see how it looks really good. I'm just going to invert the image because I don't think black and white works. It's left a bit of the old image, the reflection, so I'm just going to get rid of that a bit better. Move into place. I think I'll add a bit of text. And make it white so it shows up. And there you go. So you see how it snaps? That kind of means it's centering. That's in settings, which I can talk about in another tutorial I might do, I don't know. What I'm going to do, you see I've got the text layer selected. I'm going to hit Control and E and it merges it down into this layer, so I've all got one thing to work with. See if I can just center it. Yeah, that looks about right. And there you go, there's how to use paths and stuff like that. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll keep bringing these things out to help people use Photoshop. So thanks for that, and until the next video, goodbye!